Hello everybody, it's GeneralGigan here, stopping back at you with another Minecraft video. In today's video, we'll be going over the remaining superhero legacies in 7.0, which are Stark, Fire Wielder, Symbiotes, and Weapon X. If you haven't seen Superhero Legacies Part 1, then I highly recommend doing so before watching this one, so you understand new key systems. But before the video starts, only a small percentage of people are actually subscribed, so if you like in a video, consider subscribing. An innovator. You use your genius to create high-tech suits of armor to protect the world from evil. No matter what situation you're in, you can build a device to get out of it. To obtain the Stark Legacy, it's the same as before. Craft the Stark workbench and then place it down. Once in, press the commit button. Now you are the Stark Legacy. Also, while on the Stark workbench, if you press Legacy, you'll have the option to build the Iron Man armors. In Legend 7.0, if you're not the Stark Legacy, you need tokens and materials. But if you are the Stark Legacy, then you'll just need materials. You no longer need to make the Iron Man armors in order. You can build whichever Iron Man suit you want first. The Stark skill tree isn't anything special as it just has a few passive abilities. To get skill points as a Stark Legacy, you can either build suits, but you can't get skill points from the same mark if you build it again, and higher number marks give you more, or by being Iron Man. For the Stark Legacy, the Legacy and Iron Man suit skill points are one and the same, meaning you can use skill points you gain from killing mobs as Iron Man towards your skill tree or to rank up your suit. Also, when you max out at least one of your Iron Man armors, then all your armors will be maxed out. People who are not the Stark Legacy will have to rank up each Iron Man mark, but the Legacy just has to rank up one and they'll all be maxed out. However, if you reset your Legacy, you'll have to go and rank up each Iron Man suit individually. The first ability you must learn is Ingenuity, for 25 skill points, where you use your cleverness and tools and mechanics to build better equipment. Yield 4 times tokens for mining and smelting. After this, you have 3 options you can choose from, and remember, you can get all of them. On the left is Mechanic for 20 skill points, where you have the ability to repair your Iron Man armors for half the cost. In the middle is Jarvis 1, where you upgrade Jarvis's capabilities, allowing the AI to scan the area for players, which leads to Jarvis 2 for 100 skill points, where you allow Jarvis to take over your armor's targeting system. After you run the command, your screen will zoom in and any output damage is increased by 1 over 10 seconds. The third branch is Resourcefulness for 50 skill points, where you have a 50% chance to gather twice as much loot from ores. However, it does not stack with Fortune. For customization, Stark can change his arc reactor in his chest. You can also do this by running the command. Fire Wielders are master of pyrokinesis, embodying fire itself. The obtainability for Fire Wielders has slightly changed. They are the only legacy that requires a metahuman powers unit. In the future, more legacies like this will be obtained in here too. Once you have crafted and powered it, you need to make a concoction consisting of 1 blaze powder, 1 magma cream, and 1 bucket of lava in this exact order. You know you've got the right order when the description for Fire Wielders appear. Once the ingredients are in, press commit and you'll become a Fire Wielder. The Fire Wielder skill tree represents a flame. Upon committing, you gain Strength 2, Speed 1 when sprinting, Jump Boost 1, Fortitude 4, Fire Resistance 2, and Heat Emission. You are immune to fall damage but are weak to water. The classes Fire Wielder can choose from are Tank, Controller, and Healer. Every single move the Fire Wielders can learn can go through Fire Resistance. Their first move they must learn is Fireball for 10 skill points. After this, there are 3 branches you can take. Starting with the left one is Fire Strike for 50 skill points, where you surround your hands in flames, using the power of fire to burn enemies for 2 seconds when punching them. This lasts for 5 seconds. This leads to Fire Ore for another 50, where you surround your body in an aura of flames, burning all those who touch you. While in this state, your aura protects you from all fire-based attacks. This lasts for 5 seconds. After that, you'll learn Pyrokinetic Flight for 20 and then Fire Pillar for 50. Where you raise a pillar of fire by all nearby enemies, burning them for 10 seconds. After Fire Pillar, it's Pyrokinetic Invisibility for 20 skill points, which leads to Pyrokinetic Recovery for 50 skill points, where you regenerate yourself using fire. Grants regeneration 1 while in fire, but increases to 3 while you're in lava. Finally, the last ability on this branch is Fire Tornado for 100 skill points. Create a tornado of fire, setting everything nearby ablaze. Deals around 80 to 85 damage to everything caught within its pool. Control its direction by where you look, its height matching yours. On the second branch is Flamethrower for 40 skill points and Blazing Bolt for 30, where you throw an explosive bolt of fire from your hands. Deals 10 damage, grounding and staggering the opponent for 5 seconds while setting them on fire. After Blazing Bolt, it's Heat Wave for 30, where you generate a wave of intense heat, grounding all opponents in the area. Deals 20 damage to all affected targets, burning them over 5 seconds. The final ability on this branch is the special Pyro King. The third branch after Fireball is Fire Barrage for 20 skill points. After Fire Barrage, it branches into 2 mini skill trees. The left side you will learn Ash Breath for 30 skill points, where you spew ash from your mouth, blinding and grounding all opponents. Deal 6 damage, staggering the afflicted for 5 seconds. Then it's Fire Breath for 30 skill points, where you spew fire from your mouth, setting everything in your path ablaze. Deals 12 damage. The final ability on this mini branch is Fire Armor for 30, where you encase yourself in a protective fire, acting as armor. All damage is reduced by 10% for 10 seconds. Back to the main branch, you will learn Concussive Fire Blast, where you shoot a concussive fire blast from your hand, grounding the opponent and knocking them back. Deals 5 damage but decreases to 1 when at a distance. Next is Fire Bomb for 40 skill points, and then the special Fire Vortex for 100 skill points, where you produce an explosive spiral ray of fire from your eye, inflicting 81 damage plus 5 seconds of burn. Deals around 90 damage in total, staggering the target for 5 seconds. The customization options fire wielders have are their eye size, shades, flight style, fire color, fire mimicry, and smoke aura. Fire color can change the color of your fire for all moves. You can have orange, red, green, or blue. Here is Fire Tornado with all the different colors. Fire Mimicry covers your skin with flames. Changing the color will change the appearance. Smoke Aura just gives a passive smoke aura. Symbiotes are extraterrestrial parasites that envelop their hosts, creating a parasitic bond with their minds which they can influence. Feeding on their host emotions, symbiotes will often cause their host to do terrifying feats in order to feed off their adrenaline. To obtain symbiotes, you first must craft an empty tube, then wait for a meteor to spawn. However, rather than spawning just one meteor on one person, when the event spawns, 10 meteors can spawn on 10 different players if they're an enabled world. Once they spawn, find where they landed and collect a symbiote. With the symbiote in the tube, you need to make a symbiote chamber and power it. With the symbiote in your hand, right-click the symbiote chamber. The symbiote will be deposited in the machine. The button that says mutate will change the color of the symbiote. Once you have the color you want, and you can change the color once you are the legacy, press eject. Now you are the symbiote legacy. If you want to look like Venom, then become a web crawler legacy first and press eject. When committing, you gain strength 17, speed 8 when sprinting, acrobatics 9, fortitude 6, mental defense 2, regeneration 4, water breathing, wall climbing 2, vacuum adaptation, bulletproof, symbiotic awareness, where you can detect all approaching danger, allowing you to dodge attacks when alerted by right-clicking with nothing in your hand. Hostiles appear red while other symbiotes appear purple. They also have Clintar Bond, where when you're near another symbiote in your guild, all damage is reduced by 10%. This won't stack. They are immune to poison, radiation, fear toxin, hunger, wither, and fall damage, but are weak to sound and heat. When hit by these move types, they can't use their moves for a second. The classes a symbiote can be are tank, controller, healer, and symbiote, where you reshape your body into a giant glob and charge your opponents, voiding damage as you bite them with your enlarged fangs. The skill tree for symbiotes represents the null logo. When first becoming a symbiote, you will automatically learn the ability Transform. The first ability you must learn is Bite for 20 skill points. Then Arm Recoil for 30, where you extend your arm out, knocking back your target. Deals 2 to 4 damage, grounding the target for 5 seconds. Then you will learn Arm Grab for 20 skill points, where you extend your arm out and grab your target, pulling them towards you. Deals 10 damage, grounding the target for 5 seconds. Next is Tentacle Choke, 50 skill points, where you extend your arm out and choke your opponent with your tentacle, staggering them in the process. Deals 10 damage over 5 seconds. Next is Web Swing for 30 skill points. After Web Sling, you can either continue going up or go to the left or right. On the left, you will learn Web Cocoon for 50 skill points, where you shoot out a symbiotic chunk that traps enemies in place, encapsulating them in a cocoon for 5 seconds. This also staggers. After Web Cocoon, it's a special area of engagement, where you use your tentacles to fend off all surrounding enemies, staggering them for 5 seconds. Deals 80 damage. On the other side of Web Swing, you will learn Symbiote's Rage for 30 skill points. Feeding on your dark emotions, your symbiote corrupts your mind and causes you to become more aggressive. Damage reduced by 20% for 10 seconds. Next is Symbiote Wave for 30 skill points, where you shoot a wave of goo at your opponent, dealing 10 damage to all affected. Going up from Web Sling is Arm Blades, where you turn your hands into giant blades, allowing you to quickly slice your opponents into pieces. After Arm Blades, there are 2 side branches. The left side gives you Shard for 20 skill points, where you shoot a sharp shard that deals 10 damage. Then the special Entanglement for 100, where you use your tentacles to rapidly attack anything in front of you, staggering them in the process. Your tentacles increase your attack range by 5 blocks, auto-attacking you. Deals 90 damage in total. On the other side of Arm Blades is Shield for 15 skill points, where you create a shield to defend against incoming attacks, voiding most types of damage. Any attack that does break through is reduced by 75%. Then is Living Weapon for 40 skill points, where you anchor yourself to the ground as you release tendrils in all directions, staggering opponents for 5 damage. Above Arm Blades is Camouflage for 50 skill points. On the left branch, you can learn Flight Creation for 80 skill points and Acidic Snack for 100. Use your acidic saliva to devour an opponent, corroding them to the bone. Deals 90 damage plus poison damage, staggering the opponent for 5 seconds. On the right side is Shapeshift for 50. Now let me explain something with Shapeshift. This Shapeshift allows you to take the skin of any player. However, if you're on a server, to see your skin change, you must first load up a single player world. You don't have to do anything, just load it up and then disconnect, then go on the server, and then you will see the skins you shapeshift into and then other people who are shapeshifted. We honestly don't know why it does this, but our only guess is because we're in 1.7.10. If you don't load up on single player first, then you'll just turn into Steve and you'll see other people as Steve. When shapeshifting, you'll only take the skin of who you disguise as, and your username will vanish. To select a disguise, you must select the disguise option as your armor key in customization. After Shapeshift is Punt for 20 skill points. After Camouflage is the class Symbiote Fang for 50 skill points, which branches into Leap for 15 skill points and Slice for 30, where you slice your opponent, causing them to bleed out, deal 6 damage plus 4 bleeding. The customization options that symbiotes have are Select Disguise, Coloration, and Symbiotic Awareness. Weapon X is the codename for a secret U.S. government project to induce superpowers for military purposes. Subjects to the program are given mutant abilities, ranging from enhanced regeneration to an indestructible adamantium skeleton. To become a Weapon X, you first need to craft the adamantium bath. Once crafted, place it down and right-click to get inside. After about 30 seconds, you'll become the Weapon X Legacy. Upon becoming a Weapon X, you gain Strength 4, Speed 2 when sprinting, Acrobatics 9, Fortitude 8, Mental Defense 1, Regeneration 5, Enhanced Vision, and an Adamantium Skeleton. You are immune to poison, hunger, and wither, but are weak to sound, drowning, and suffocation. The classes you can choose from are Tank, Controller, and Healer. The skill tree for Weapon X is an X because, well, you know. The first ability you must learn is Recover, where you use your advanced healing factor to regenerate health. Increases regeneration to 10 for 10 seconds. After you learn Recover, you can choose one of 4 paths. You can learn all of them, it's just which ones you want first. On the top left is the Wolverine path, where you learn Claws for 20 skill points, then Fury Swipes for 30, then Stab for another 30, then Slice for 30. And finally, the Special Berserk Rage for 100. The top right path is the Sabretooth path. We learn Combat for 30, then Pounce for 20, followed by Scent Tracker for another 20. After Scent Tracker, it's Toss for 30, then the new special Tooth and Nail for 100, where you rush forwards towards your opponent on all fours, knocking them backwards. Deals 2 damage passively on impact, staggering the opponent for 5 seconds. Deals an additional 80 damage on attack, ending the move. Damage is reduced by 10% for 5 seconds. The bottom left is the X23 path, which begins with roundhouse kick for 20, then kick backflip for 15, followed by sweep kick for 20, then mental defense 3 for 10, and finally trigger scent for 100, where your target is laced with trigger scent, causing you to enter involuntary primal rage. They are staggered for 10 seconds. Damage done to them is doubled, as damage done to you is reduced by 50% for 10 seconds. The player you are looking at when it's activated is chosen to be your target. The final branches the powers of other Weapon X members. It contains Teleport for 50, then Shapeshift for 50, which works the same way as the Symbiotes. Then Tactical Mind Control for 40, where you cause your victims to lose control and begin hallucinating upon touch. This prevents them from using their abilities. The effectiveness of this depends on their mental defense. This lasts for 5 seconds. When activated, you have 10 seconds to tag the target. Then it's 9 Vulnerability for 80 skill points, where you are resistant to almost all kinds of damage. Damage is reduced by 25% passively. The final ability is the Special Triumph for 100 skill points, where you use your enhanced regeneration capabilities to heal all wounds, regenerate 20 durability over 20 seconds, and instantly max out your health. The customization options for Weapon X are Shades, Claw Number, Claw Type, Claw and Fangs, Foot Claws, and select Disguise. Well, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, consider subscribing for more content like this. Hopefully I'll be doing more polls on Twitter soon, so be sure to follow me on Twitter. With that being said, hoorah and epicness of awesomeness.